Come, lost souls haunted by their dreams, hymns to my name. I've kept a place for you next to my flame. Come, stay a while. I will sing you songs around the fire to the slow beat of the wilderness drums. Sit with you beside, tell you stories of when the earth was young. I have tales to tell, ancient fables and legends to sell. Come, drink of my wine. I shall speak to you in many tongues. Look up. Luna is there for you, and will be until we are done. Take my hand. You need not be afraid. Let us pay tribute to this evening until dawn turns the night to day. Feel the warmth of my flames, built by my hands. Take stock in the eternal surrounding you, those primordial nature-crafted lands. Stay, you need not be nervous. Feast, then we shall dance. Allow the howls of the beast to bring us to unearthly trance. Allow me to be your guide tonight. We can make the fire and feel the burn. Naked, through our enlightened minds run. Take ease, you know my name. Century to century I shall forever remain. Look around you, take notice. The forest creatures have gathered to praise you, en masse to honor the wise, the ancient father. Come, warm your bones, sip the knowledge from my cup. Only you shall know when you've had enough. Take my hand, let go of all your fears. It's not me, the enemy. It is that you hold dear. Sit. Let the flames illuminate your face. Look skyward, a forest of stars congregated in space. So enter my fold. I have so many stories that need to be told. Passed down from the brotherhood of masters on the mountain, those who sleep in the caves, such lore they bleed, to their souls wisdom gave. Now it is you and I, here, by this fire, under a blackened wilderness sky. Let go and just be. Dance with me now, yes, you know how. It is within you, a memory kept sealed under lock and key. You know this to be truth. You know this to be. Come to me. Be afraid not. Listen to my fireside songs, sung to the beat of the wilderness drum. Then I shall sit beside you, tell you tales of when the earth was young. Hello. My name is Nocturna, and I shall be your guide on this Halloween night. Oh, the lights. They're so bright. I'm not used to such bright lights. I prefer the dark. They woke me recently, and I found myself here in Woodstock. Oh, let's see, Halloween is coming. You must wear a mask, you know, so the demons don't take you away. That's why they wore masks, so you would never be recognized. Anyway, I do love to read. One of the scariest books I've read recently was by someone called Joe Hill. And the book was called A Heart-Shaped Box. I like to scream when I read. That did the trick. Anyway, for those of you who enjoy cinema, I want to tell you about some of my favorite movies or films. It was a long time ago. I remember when the first film was made. You see, I'm a lot older than I look. Anyway, my favorite film, the scary film, because of course we need scary movies at this time of year. It was called Don't Look Now. It had Donald Sutherland in it and a very, very scary little girl wearing a red raincoat. It was the subtleness of that little girl that made it so frightening. You don't need to see all this slash and gore. The subtlety, that's what made the real fear happen. Let me see, I brought some other ones that I thought were scary for this holiday season. Oh, I do love Halloween. I also love Freaks. This is called a classic of the grotesque.
This movie, I believe, came out in the 30s. Not really a horror film per se, but a movie that celebrated the grotesque in life. And of course, nothing at that time was politically correct, and, well, they just broke every rule in this movie. But I would suggest for any of you who like the macabre to delight in watching Todd Browning's Freaks. It may be old, but it still has that spice and just the kick you need for this spooky season. Now, a sweet and sentimental love story. Oh, we do all love those, don't we? One that particularly touched my heart was a beautiful remake of an old Swedish film. It was a story called Let Me In. It was a beautiful, lovely story about a lovely young vampire girl and the mortal little boy who fell in love with her. What a gorgeous romantic movie. Yes, it has its blood and it has its gore, but it also kind of brings a tear to your eye, if you know what I mean. I loved it. I would like to have a daughter just like the girl in the movie. Maybe I can arrange that one day. Oh, yes, another one of my favorites. Wendigo. We live in the Catskills, and this is the setting of Wendigo. You see, it's about creatures that live in these mountains. And of course, since we took the mountains from many creatures, it gets revenge. Revenge sometimes is quite delicious if played out correctly. Wendigo has all of the beauty of rural Woodstock and Phoenicia in it, as well as, well, the glory of seeing a monster that's half man and half deer. Perhaps you've seen some of these in the woods. I certainly have. Now, enough of fiction. In the strange but true files of this past week, there have been some extraordinary stories, and I hope during these Nocturna Speaks time that we will have in my little show, when I do come up literally for air, I will tell you these little stories that I get out of the news. Well, apparently, a Janus cat was found in rural Midwest. Now, what, you may ask, is a Janus cat? A Janus cat, named after the two-faced god Janus, is a kitty with two faces, one head, four legs. This one had two names, two personalities. One had two faces. How delightful! Anyway, they usually die right at birth, sadly. This one lived to be 12 years old. Both of the little boys just recently celebrated their 12th birthday. I would love to get a kitty just like that one day. Wouldn't you? Anyway, this is such a special time of the year. And all the children, and it's so nice to pass out candy. It used to be, back in the old days, that people would actually put out treats for the goblins and the fairies and for the creatures of the night. I feel a little disturbed that they don't do that anymore. I think the fairy folk would very much like to be remembered and have at least a saucer of milk or some bread pudding put out for them. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't believe in fairies and that ilk anymore. But believe me, there are trolls, there are goblins, there are fairies in Woodstock. You may know some. And if you don't, You know who you are. And I know who you are. What else? What else do we have for you today? There's some nice poems from gravestones. I like to collect them, you know. I spend a lot of time walking around the cemeteries and trying to read off gravestone etchings, and I did find some lovely ones. I think for spirits, it's important that they love to be remembered. I don't like to be forgotten either, if you know what I mean. Let's see. Here's an inscription on a grave from 1903. There is no calm like that when the storm is done. There is no pleasure keen as pain's release. There is no joy that lies so deep as peace. No peace so deep as that by struggle won. That's delightfully melancholy, don't you think? Oh, his wife also had an inscription on her grave. From world to world, the soul's wings never furled. Today our world is filled with angels in their flight, and if unrecognized, they pass beyond our sight. But what law dare we name the time when we shall know again such love sublime? What matter, whether face to face we meet in another world, if here we've recognized and kept our soul's wings unfurled? Well, that's quite nice. You know, though, I still rather like the love story between the little girl vampire and the little boy. I guess everyone has their own likings. But these are just a few movies that I particularly like for this time of year. Of course, who can resist the little cat boy in The Grudge? There's so many wonderful movies at this time. Of course, we have The Exorcist and The Omen and all the, the real ones, the non-fiction movies of such. The Rite was fairly good. I do enjoy a good exorcism movie. You know, they're necessary sometimes, you know. Anyway, my friends, my darling, darling friends, I hope to see you again sometime. But the best advice I have for all of you is please, please, my Woodstock friends, until I see you again, live like you're dying. Please, live like you're dying.